Hi there, Mouseketeers! Welcome back to my channel. Princess Minnie here, or Kate in real life, if you're wondering. And today I have such a great video for you. I want to show you all of the pins I recently traded for on my most recent whirlwind all-resort touring trip to the Disney World. Well, I was going to say Disney World parks, but like I already said, we didn't actually go to the parks. We only went to the Disney resorts. Now, we went to every Disney resort, so I got a chance to pin trade at every Disney resort. Now, I was not successful in finding pins everywhere, but I'm so excited to show these to you and talk to you a little bit about pin trading. So I'm going to include a tip or two. My first tip is going to be trade at the resorts. Definitely, whether you're staying on property or not, you can visit the resorts. Don't try to visit every single one. It will take up all of your trip. I promise. It took us 4 days. 4 long, packed days to tour every single Disney resort. And it was worth it, and it was amazing, and it's like crossed off the bucket list. But I don't recommend it because you want to spend your time in the Disney parks. I did not trade in Disney Springs. I don't think there's a lot of pin trading there. I know I've actually traded pins with someone who traded with a janitor in Disney Springs, so there you go. There's a tip too. Look for the janitors, because I doubt a lot of people are asking them to look at their lanyards, so they might have some fresher pins on them. But yeah, trade at the resorts, and don't be afraid to ask them if they have pin books. Some of the resorts, especially the deluxe resorts, have whole pin books even at check-in, and you don't have to be checking in. Just go up and ask them if you can see their pin board. And they're expecting it. No one ever seemed like it was a strange request. They all went and either told me where the pin board was or just brought the pin board out to me. So that's my first tip. Trade at the resorts and ask around to different cast members looking for pin boards. You don't have to trade just with the cast members themselves with their own lanyards. You can trade on boards at the resorts. So I'm going to try to intersperse a few comments in between. Let's look at some pins. Now, I do not wear a lanyard. I don't particularly really want to wear all my pins around my neck, especially because I don't really want to take my nicest pins into the park. I'm only taking the pins in that I'm trading. If you could do that as well, you really have to think about what do you want to do with your trading style. I don't really care about showing off my pins. That's for at home with my videos, but there were plenty of people who are showing off their pins. I do want to say another tip. I know I said we get to the pins, but real quick, if you're going to take your pins into the park, however you're going to take them, wearing them, make sure you get a locking pin back, because I have tried to wear pins into the park on clothing before and they keep falling off because the Mickey heads, they're good for lanyards. I still put a locking pack on that. You can get them on Amazon pretty cheaply for a big bunch of them. There are some that require tools, but there are toolless ones as well, which I have. So get yourself some locking pin backs on Amazon for your trip if you think you might want to get pins while you're in Disney or show off your pins on your outfit. Let's get into this. Now you might be wondering, why do I have like a Disney park bag and why do I have this cute little pouch? I'm going to explain. I took so many pins with me that they could not all fit into this little pouch. That's where I was going with the whole lanyard thing. I didn't wear a lanyard. I put all my pins in this pouch. And this pouch you may recognize because I have shown it before on my channel. It was from my second ever Tokyo Kawaii Club mailer. And it's super adorable, Piglet and Pooh, Tsum Tsum form. I definitely got some compliments on this because I just wore a crossbody bag and then I put this as a little clasp. I just put it around the strap of the bag. So it stayed nice and secure and it was easy to not lose my pins. And I don't know if you can see, but this bad boy is chock full of pins. Like as many pins as can fit in here. I had, and I changed these out like maybe midway through the trip. So I traded a lot and I got a lot of different pins, but not all would fit in here, so I had to put some in this Disney park bag. So I don't even know like what's in which bag. It doesn't really matter to me. Let's get into it and I'll show you some of the pins. Now, I will say, not all pins are created equal. Some of these I love, some of these I just was like, now I have a different trader. So I'm just going to run through them pretty quickly unless I love them. I don't think you want to be here for like an hour. This one's pretty cool. It's representing in the Magic Kingdom Country Bear Jamboree, Buff the Buffalo, and it is a hidden Mickey pin, but I thought that the quality of these looked pretty nice. Like some of the hidden Mickeys I found. So that kind of leads me to talk about scrapper pins. I definitely saw scrappers that I could tell just looking at them were scrappers or fakes, and That's to be expected. Do not trade your pins in Disney if you're worried about getting scrapper pins. Just don't do it. Like, keep your authentic pins and be happy with them, or trade online. Because I'm sure I traded authentic pins for scrappers. I don't care, actually. I don't mind if I have a scrapper. If this is a scrapper, I don't care. It looks awesome. Doesn't matter to me any. Moving on. I got this hidden Mickey pin, which is representing the Soarin' cast member flight crew. My husband really liked this one, so I let him trade for it. I snatched it up for him because he said it was really cool. So I kept this one. They did have a few cast member pins there. This was, I think, the only one I got because it was the only one I thought was pretty neat. I'll probably trade this in Disneyland, though. Hidden Mickey again, and this time it's Tigger. Super cute pin. I think I found this in a pin book at the Polynesian. The Polynesian, that's another tip for you. If you're going to trade, go to the Poly. They had the best trading. They had the most cast members with pin books and pin boards that I found, and they were all super nice. That's my second tip. Don't just go to any resort. Go to the Polynesian for the best trading. Because they also said to me, like, oh, did you go to this person? Did you go to that store? Did you go here in the store? So they were super awesome and helpful about finding new pins, and I just thought this was super cute with Tigger's huge jaw. This is one of my favorite pins that I got. It is representing, and it's another hidden Mickey, it's representing Disneyland ticket books. And so these would have been C ticket attractions back from when the park actually had ticket books rather than just, you know, you pay to get in and then you get to go on everything. And this was the Fantasyland one. So it's representing a bunch of rides that you would have gotten on for a C ticket in Disneyland. And I already have one of these. I think it's the D ticket. I'm definitely trying to complete this entire set. Okay, this one I got at one of the All-Star resorts, and it's a hidden Mickey, and it was from an Alice in Wonderland series of hidden Mickeys that I believe the cast member said he thinks were Disneyland originals, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But I really like the Cheshire Cat, so I snatched this guy up. This one, I hope it's not too hard to read. I think I can see it on camera pretty well. It's Iago from Aladdin, and Aladdin kind of followed my husband and I around a lot on this trip. We actually got to watch it at Wilderness Lodge at nighttime before the fireworks show. You can see the fireworks from Wilderness Lodge. There's a non-pin tip for you. And so I saw this on in so many different pin books and on so many lanyards. I finally grabbed it because I think I might want to collect some of these silver ones. It's probably a scrapper, but again, I don't care. Get another hidden Mickey, and it's Duffy Bear, and he's wearing, I think that's Dopey's hat. And I saw a couple of these. This was the only one I traded for. I think I might want to grab, maybe I got one more, I'm not sure. But it's hard to remember. Like, literally, there's so many pins in this video, guys. Like, you can see how long this video is now, but just working through it, I have no idea. Like, we have barely broken into them yet. But I love the detail on this pin. I think it looks great. Alright, so we kind of became obsessed with trying to complete this hidden Mickey set of, if you can tell, this is Tigger from the Winnie and Pooh Friends. And I think I got this twice because I thought I would like this pin and maybe somebody else would also like this pin. It looks in really good condition to me. And we started looking for every one of these we could find. Okay, this is another in that series of hidden Mickey Alice in Wonderland pins. And of course it's the Mad Hatter. And they all came with like just super vibrant colors. So I love the lime green on his. And similarly, here's the Queen from that series. Her face is just taking up this entire pin. I think we only got 3 from this series, if I can remember correctly. So I'm going to have to actually go online and see if maybe I can get, if there's like an Alice and a White Rabbit, because I'd like to actually complete this series. But don't you think this looks nice? Like, it's a hidden Mickey, but I don't know if it's real or scrapper. But that's another thing. I got these for myself, so I don't care if I have scrappers if they look nice to me. I wouldn't, you know, necessarily trade these with people unless I told them, hey, I did get this, you know, from a cast member. Kind of trade at your own risk kind of thing, I guess. But I think these look great. Okay, this is what my husband snagged. It's a hidden Mickey. It's obviously Hook, Captain Hook's Hook. This Pluto I snagged. It's fairly large. And I snagged it. I don't collect Pluto, but I actually thought, you know what? It looks great, so I'm not sad to have it, and it's a cool shape. But I might just kind of trade up. So that's another tip if you're going to trade. Just, if you really take pins, you don't care about trading, which is what I did, then just experience the fun of actually trading. You can always retrade that pin with a different cast member later. I went up not retrading this one. I don't know if I will in Disneyland or not. I haven't decided. Cute Fozzie Bear, and he's perfect for my collection because he's wearing Mickey ears, and my #1 Disney collection is Disney characters wearing Mickey ears. We're going to Disney parks, so I snatched him right up. Alright, here we have in that Winnie the Pooh silhouette series, Kanga and Roo, and now this one is a little more beat up, so it's definitely not one I would ever trade with anybody else, but for my own personal use, I still love it, and I'm trying to complete this set. This Figment Eyes pin is a little beat up looking, and I kind of just grabbed it with the thought of maybe trading up later, and it never happened. I kind of like it. I might put it on like a Figment board and then trade it when I go to Disneyland. Alright, I snagged this Beauty and the Beast Maurice Tsum Tsum pin, which I believe is authentic based on looking at the quality and looking on the back. And I grabbed it because I was like, not that Maurice is my favorite, and I actually already had this pin, but I thought it might make a good trader because like I said, I do believe it's authentic. And it was at the Wilderness Lodge. They have a huge pin board, and the pin boards are cool. Tip, if you do decide to trade the resorts, if you trade with a cast member, you should, politely say, hey, may I please trade with you? And they'll trade with you. You don't have to worry that they'll say no. They will absolutely trade with you. And then there are pin boards at the resorts. I always asked, but they pretty much would just say, oh, they're self-serve, so you can still just take 2, leave 2. This is another pin whose authenticity I question. I have to really do some research to find out if this is real or not. I am a little skeptical. But it is Aurora, and I thought it was lovely. And I thought I might trade it up, and I didn't. But I'm kind of glad. I'm going to definitely do my research to find out if this is authentic or not. Okay, the next pin is this super cute Daisy bow. I think this is Daisy's bow, right? Maybe it's a Minnie Mouse bow. Either way, cute bow. Yet another hidden Mickey, but I thought the quality was fantastic. It's a Disneyland Crest series, and I already had at least 1 or 2 in the series, so when I saw Jack, I had to grab it. I've kind of been looking for any pin that says Disneyland in preparation for my upcoming Disneyland trip. This is a pin, again, I traded, maybe thinking I'd trade it again, but I'm pretty happy with it. It's a cute chicken. I think it's the Muppets chicken. Maybe it's like don't chickens follow Fozzie Bear around? So it's kind of funny. I got the chicken and Fozzie. But either way, I don't know if I'll keep it or not, but I thought it was adorable. Another pin in the Winnie the Pooh silhouette series, Rabbit. And I was like literally over the moon when I found this pin because I've seen these on eBay and I've seen them all being sold as a set, but I've never seen Rabbit. Or maybe like once. Like he's really rare to come across, at least that I've found. So I was like, yes, I'm definitely going to need to scoop Rabbit up. And another pin that my hubby just really wanted, and he didn't have his own pins. I would just give him pins if he saw one he liked, and it's just a stylized monorail. He thought that was really cool. There's another tip for you too. You are allowed to trade per cast member 2 pins per day, but sometimes like maybe I shouldn't say this way, but to kind of cheat the system a little bit. I mean, it's still within the legal rules, maybe just not in the spirit of it exactly. I would sometimes say like, oh, honey, like, don't you think there are some great pins on this board? And he'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, do you want to trade one? And he'd be like, yeah. So he'd take a pin from my bag and I'd be like, oh, I think that Alice in Wonderland pin is really cool, don't you? And he'd be like, yeah, that's what I'm going to trade for. So I sometimes got a 3rd pin out of the deal having another person with me. Okay, so we finally are in the big bag and I would say we're about halfway done. Another authentic mystery pack pin I opened was this Dalmatians pin. I think it was the very first one I traded for at Port Orleans Riverside, and I just couldn't believe my luck when I found it. So here's another tip for you. Trade at the resorts. I know I already said that, but because I kind of feel that people there, A, there aren't as many people trading, so nothing gets picked over as much as it will be in the parks, and B, people are like bored sometimes when they're on vacation and they think, oh, let me just get a mystery box or a mystery bag. And they have all these pins and they want to trade them. So I wouldn't be surprised if somebody opened the donut pin bag at Port Orleans Riverside, didn't want this one, decided to trade it, and now I have it. I have an authentic pin. This is a Mickey Mouse Snowman pin. I doubt its authenticity, but I really liked it, and it was a pin that I saw a few times, and I knew I wanted to grab it eventually, so I finally did. Now here's that Mickey Mouse crest that matches Jack Skellington. I believe I already have one of these, but I grabbed it just in case I didn't, because I figured I'd rather grab it and have it at home than think I had it at home and miss out on it. Here's a Cheshire Cat pin that I believe, again, is authentic, because I believe it came from a booster pack. Same thing with the Dalmatian donut. I think somebody bought it at their hotel and was like, I kind of don't want this one, and traded for something they wanted more. Just really cute Donald Duck ears, and I think I'm going to have to fight my husband for this one. Oh, real quick, here was that second Tigger I told you about. Totally forgot I traded for the E-ticket as well. which is representing New Orleans Square in Disneyland, so I knew I had to pounce on that one. So I think of the 5, I'm only missing 2. I'll probably buy those on eBay. Yay, and here is Piglet from the Silhouette set, and he's looking pretty good. Another authentic pin from the Fantasy Football set, Brer Fox. I grabbed him as a real-life trader because I don't believe these pins are being faked, and even if they are, I believe this one is authentic. So I grabbed it even though I didn't personally want it because I already have this pin, just to get a good trader. This is another Disneyland pin, which is why I grabbed it, and it is Sully's mouth. Kind of weird, but kind of cool. A little mystery pouch Buzz. Again, I would not be surprised if he was authentic as well. Now this Star Wars pin I didn't actually trade for, but I want to tell you, here's a little tip, another tip for you. I brought this to trade with me because I bought a bunch of Star Wars pins to trade with me just because like they weren't moving as well as some of the other pins online, so I kind of figured they'd make good traders for the parks, or the resorts rather. And I traded it with a cast member, and I was like, before we ended, I was kind of like, oh, I've kind of regret trading that. I really like the blue, and it'd be nice to keep one of the Star Wars pins. And she was like, just give me a different one. So that's okay. Like, if you kind of instantly regret the pin you give to the cast member, just ask if you could trade a different one, no problem. And I will say that I picked all the pins I gave to the cast members, and no one had a single problem with that, but I've heard that most people actually let the cast member pick. One cast member told me that that is very common, that they pick a lot. Another Hidden Mickey series. This is a Tinkerbell Teardrop Hidden Mickey series. And there she just is with some bluebirds. I do think it's weird that all her limbs are amputated, but I still think it's pretty cute. And I definitely have a Tinkerbell collection because it reminds me of my sister who loves Tinkerbell so much she even has a Tinkerbell tattoo. While I'm thinking about it, I do want to give you another tip, and that is look for cast member mystery pins. And what I mean by that is sometimes, like if I went up to a cast member and said, you know, may I see your pin lanyard? You'd see a pin out like this. But sometimes they actually have it facing this way. Now, I didn't actually come across that too much, but I did trade 1 or 2 really cool pins, and the cast member said, oh, I'm going to use that as a hidden pin or a mystery pin, and someone's going to be really excited because I think I was at the Polynesian and I traded a Stitch pin, and I specifically did that because I figured people who go to the Polynesian love Stitch, and she was like, yes, someone is going to be super excited about this, and she wanted to brighten somebody's day by making it a mystery. So maybe try the mystery pins out. Like, I think that they're designed to be ones that you would really like, not to necessarily just to get bad ones off their lanyard. Just a really cute Dumbo Hidden Mickey pin. And I do want to say thank you for watching this video and following along with all the pins. And I hope you're thinking about which ones you really liked. And I want to say at the very end, the last 2 pins I'm going to show you are from the Asian parks. And I can't wait to show you those, but I wanted to kind of just remind you, stay tuned because we have some really cool pins coming up soon. Here's an authentic pin that I got at the Contemporary, and I can't exactly read the writing. I think it says like Ikarzu Falls or something like that, and it's from a fairly new, at least that I've seen, mystery box where you get 2 pins that represent Soarin' around the world. I'm not trying to collect this set whatsoever, but I thought this would make a great trader for someone who does. So also try the deluxe resorts out, people. Like I said, the Poly had the best trading and the best people, but I kind of feel like those are the resorts people have money to spend, money to burn, you know? So they get these boxes and bags and they're trading authentic pins. Oh good, I did get another Duffy Hidden Mickey hat pin, and it's Duffy wearing Captain Hook's hat, and I really like this because Captain Hook is one of my top favorite villains. Donald, he might be a scrapper, he might not. I haven't done any research on him yet, but he's wearing Mickey ears, so I'm never going to trade him. He's going in my favorite collection. I had to ask a cast member what this guy was, but I knew I was taking him anyway. Another Contemporary pin. It is the Easter Bunny from the Vinylmation series, and I was like, I just want it. Like, I don't really even have any Easter pins, but I just want it. It's so cute. This one might be a little hard to read on camera, but it is just a silver mini, and I bet she is a scrapper because she feels very light and different from the other pins, but I don't care because she's just for my collection. Another authentic pin from the Fantasy Football series, Orange Bird. Had to grab him even though I have him. Grabbed this Snow White nesting doll at one of the resorts. Now, I'm not 100% sure yet. I have to do more research whether she's authentic or not because some of her colors are spot on with the authentic snow that I have in my own collection that I just compared it against, and some of them are slightly darker. I'm not going to jump to the conclusion that it is a scrapper though because A, I don't know if these have been scrapped yet or faked yet, and And B, I just know that Disney sometimes has a really poor quality control, so I wouldn't be surprised if the colors were slightly off from some set to set. So I'm going to do some more research, and hopefully this is an authentic pin that I can trade. Oh my gosh, guys, did I get 3 of these Tiggers? I really wanted to make sure I didn't miss out on it, I guess. Some of them will go to Disneyland with me for more traders. Little Mickey Mouse snowman on a snowflake shiny background to add to my winter/Christmas collection. A jasmine pin that I'm fairly certain is authentic because I also got a Cinderella from the same collection, but she definitely was a scrapper and fake. You could feel it. She had like raised elements on the pin, and this one is all shiny and looks just like the one I have at home. So I do believe this is an authentic one. So now I have a trader of her. Could not believe it. This was the first, I think, I found of the Winnie the Pooh silhouette characters, and I just jumped right on Owl. I could not believe, just like Rabbit, I haven't found him very much at all. So he's the last one I have to show you. I only have 2 pins left, and those are the Hong Kong pins. And I could not believe I found Owl, though, so I'm going to try to complete the rest of the set. Maybe if I can find them in Disneyland, and if I can't, eBay. So I found this Shanghai Alice pin. I can't remember where now, but again, check the resorts, people. I couldn't believe, no! Oh my gosh, I actually found this in Disney Springs. I did do trading in Disney Springs, but I did not do it at the pin station. That's what the pin traders. I did this at a clothing store in Disney Springs. So there's another tip for you. Ask to see people's lanyards. Oh, you know what? No, it wasn't a clothing store. It was the Star Wars store because I traded a Star Wars pin and I thought someone's going to be really happy to get this. And she said somebody had like just traded this to her and she knew it wasn't going to last. Finally, I found this bad boy, this Hong Kong booster pack pin of Duffy holding an ice cream cone. I found this on my second day of the trip. I could not believe it. I talked about it the rest of the trip. And my husband even said to me, he goes, I knew you were going to pick that pin because it's so much larger and prettier than the other pins. He goes, I didn't even really know what it was or that it was from Hong Kong, but I knew you were going to grab it. So even he could tell the quality was just superior. So I just feel like I traded a whole bunch of pins in my collection I didn't really care about into amazing pins. Some I will trade in Disneyland. Some I will trade just to anyone out on the interwebs. But just a few final thoughts on pin trading. Definitely trade at the resorts. Definitely ask if they have pin boards. Do they have pin boards at check-in? Don't make sure you ask politely to see someone's lanyard and never pull a pin off yourself. They will do it. Sometimes they will tell you to keep your own Mickey head back, and sometimes they will ask for it. It depends on if you pull it from a board, which does not have a back, or sometimes if it's on their lanyard, it does have a back. So it depends. Just make sure you have pins with backs on them because sometimes you will need that. Don't think that every pin you're going to see is a scrapper. Everything I've read said 99% of pins are scrappers, and maybe because I didn't try trading in the parks, maybe 99% of the pins in the parks are scrappers. I definitely feel like it's more like 50-50 at the resorts. Like I said, I still have to do research on some of these, and again, I don't care if I got some scrappers. Like, I'm not going to trade them actively with people and try to pass them off as authentic, but in my own personal collection, I don't really care if I have some scrappers or fakes. So, and that's personal preference. And I didn't put scrappers or fakes out there. I made sure that I was trading like really good pins in return. So there you go. You have people who are giving authentic pins. So don't be surprised, and keep a lookout for Hong Kong, Shanghai. Keep a lookout for pins that you haven't seen before, and just, if you're not sure, snatch it up at that moment, because you can always look it up later and trade it with a different cast member if you decide you don't really like it. Bring a partner with you or a friend in crime and have a plan. Like my husband knew, hey, we're looking for Duffy Bear and hats, or we're looking for silhouette cameo characters. So he knew that if he saw those, he was, to make some trades of his own. Definitely do that. And most of all, just have fun. Like, it's super fun. The cast members expect it. Sometimes they really have fun doing it and turn it into a game for the next person. So don't be afraid to trade in the parks. And honestly, it's so much fun. Even if you went and you bought a pack or bought a box or bought a booster set, trade all of them away. Like, yeah, you might get some lesser quality or lesser value, but it's just like a fun experience. Thank you so much for watching. Please ask me any questions you have about pin trading at the parks down below, especially if it's pin trading at the resorts. And again, I'm still working on editing. but I will have a series of 3 videos coming out by the end of summer that show all of the Disney resorts, value, moderate, and deluxe, along with my and my husband's thoughts on each and where you should stay. We'll definitely probably also, well, I can't say definitely probably, we'll also probably be doing a video where we rank all the Disney resorts, all factors including cost considered. I know I threw a lot of information at you today, so again, ask me any questions or post any comments down below. If you liked some pins, let me know. Thumbs up, subscribe so you don't miss awesome unboxings coming your way shortly, and also the videos for all the Disney resorts. Have a great day, and I'll see you real soon.